I guess I would like to begin this meeting by asking you, obviously I have no vote in this election, but my endorsement could have a lot of influence. And I would like to ask you about how you plan to address the problem, the crisis with ISIS and in the Middle East. I know that battling Islamic terrorism in France is a big priority for my country, and I would like to know how you plan to address that issue.
Well, I believe that we need to make some effort to stop endless wars, but wars can also be important to defend democracy and human rights. And I think that once we intervene, we should stay with it, and so we don't leave the people that we are trying to help in a worse problem than in a worse situation than when we first entered.
So I was very opposed when President Trump withdrew the troops from Syria, because obviously France was a big part of acting against Syria when they used the chemical weapons. So would you plan to reinstate the troops, or what's?
I would definitely try to work collaboratively with other world leaders to see what we can do best to defend human rights. And I would, and unfortunately, last summer, the United States drew out of the UN Human Rights Commission, and I'd like to re-enter that, and so we can work to defend human rights on a global scale.
So I think that I have a lot of sway over who people choose, and I want people to choose the best candidate for them. So in terms of foreign policy, why do you believe that you are the best candidate for the American people?
Because I believe in working together and negotiating with people, and I know that a lot of our allies here are also fairly, like the President of France and the President of Mexico, are socially liberal, as am I, and I think that will help give us an advantage in negotiating with them and coming up with policy that benefits everyone.
So you believe because you are ideologically similar to
Yes,
them?
and I can also negotiate with them.
Okay. Another issue that is becoming a foreign policy issue is obviously climate change. And as you know, when the US threw out of the Paris Climate Accord, that was a very big problem. So what are your
Yes,
plans?
I was very opposed to drawing out of the Paris Climate Accord, and I would like to, if I am president, I would like to re-enter, because climate change is a very real, very serious problem, and we need to take action and address it now before it's too late.
What kind of steps are you planning to take to combat that?
Well, I don't accept any money from fossil oil companies, and I'd like to, this also goes back to the starting fewer wars thing, is that also creates climate change. I think we need to have more policies that favor renewable energy and green energy sources, and higher taxes on things like coal that are very detrimental to our environment.
So obviously, if we want to make real progress with climate change, the average life of an American would have to change. And
Yes.
what sort of changes do you think the regular American will be doing in the next few years as we work more on combating climate change?
Well, there's already been, well, we'll have to start with individual things. There's already been some plans where we've started reducing the amount of plastics and waste that we put out. That's definitely a good place to start. Reducing carbon emissions, and reducing, how much people fly, how much people drive, and things like that.
Okay, thank you guys for coming to our press conference. No further questions will be asked. And if any questions the press have, they can be addressed at the press conference at 10:25. If you guys would like to take photos, that photo opportunity, that will be able to happen, but other questions will be addressed at the press conference. Thank you for coming.